The following may contain strong opinionated views. The views and opinions expressed on this show does not necessarily reflect the views or the opinions of any social media or broadcast platform.
Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. Sports with Brian Camp. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
TGIF, thank God it's Friday, and here we are once again, all of us together, gathered around the breakfast table or the water cooler at work or wherever you hang out. We're glad to have you aboard with us. The name of the show is called The Coffee Hour, and my name is Frank Allan. We're going to be with you for a whole hour. We gather here each Friday at this time, and we bring you great conversation. We have a little coffee, have a little fun, and that we hope that you were able to spend the whole hour with us. We've got a lot of things to talk about today. We've got so many things to do, and we're so glad to have you aboard with us. So stay with us for that whole hour. We want to thank all of our people who have been around with us for so many years. Thank you so much for that. You know, you've been an asset to this show, whether you know it or not. That's why I keep mentioning it each time that we come on the air with it. Now, I just want to take time and chat with the people who have been with us maybe a couple of weeks, and maybe some new to the program. Okay, so let's get started, and let me tell you how this show operates. Okay, I'm the host of the show, as I said, and by me getting things operate, I go into what they call the prep mode. And prepping the show means, you know, I throw out maybe a conversation that we could start off with, and then you guys could chew on a little bit, and then we can get started with that. And then we go along, but we don't have to linger on that conversation the whole day, because that's where you come in. Because if you have anything to say, you can do that by using your keyboard on your computer, be it laptop or desktop or your tablet or even your telephone. We want you to use that and type whatever you have to type in. I will see you right there on the big screen, and of course, I will pay homage to you and let want to know about your thoughts and ideas. That's what the show is all about. It's free exchange of ideas and of opinion. And a lot of people have them. I have them, you have them, and we want to know about them. So whatever your opinions are, it doesn't matter. We're going to let you be free form around here. That's what we are. It's just as long as everyone is diplomatic about it, we can get muddled right through this program as quickly and as comfortably as possible. Now, you ought to know that we come on 3 different places. All right, we have 2 platforms, and you could watch us on either platform. Whatever you're watching us right now, it's either uh, Facebook or YouTube. Okay, and we're both live, and you can see us right there. And so, again, anything that you want to talk about, you can talk about, and especially if you have a particular topic that you want to talk about, something on your mind. You know, it doesn't have to always be what we say here. We can break what I throw out, go to you, and we can linger on it. So you have all of that going on. We got a lot of things going on. Later on in the program, before the show is over, I have those movies. Now, each week, I go into the Turner Classic Vault movies, right? And I make my picks of the week. And whatever those movies are, I try to pick out the best that you could watch, because I know all of you guys are doing something on the weekend. If you happen to be the ones and the fortunate ones to have the weekends off, and you can do that by either doing whatever you normally do and or watch some classic movies. That's where I come in. I'm going to bring that to you. So that's coming on later on in the program. So you stay around with us. Brian Camp is along with us. He's going to have the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And if you have any sports-related program or sports-related questions for Brian, you will be able to talk to him. And not only that, you can see him live. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can see him live. Now, if you're watching us on Facebook, you won't be able to see him, but you'll be able to hear everything he has to say. And of course, he will give you all the answers to all of your questions. As a matter of fact, Brian is here right now. He's here live, and he's going to stay with me for at least the bulk of the show, right, Brian?
Yeah, at least for 45 minutes.
Okay, that sounds good. That's a long time. So, how's it going? I see you're at the school.
Yes, I'm at the school here, enjoying this Friday. Just make sure that we get to a weekday, going into the weekend, so it'd be great. So right now it's in Charlotte, North Carolina. It is 53 degrees, going up to only 56. It's rain. Rain should stop around 12 noon, so we should be fine for the rest of the weekend.
All right. And that gives me a reminder to tell everyone that if you want to indulge in conversation with us, we welcome it. We would love for you to do that. For those of you who are watching us for the first time and you don't want to go there just yet, we understand that we do see you when you come in, but we will not acknowledge you unless, of course, you say something first. So we want to make sure that you're comfortable knowing that because we want to make sure that everybody is comfortable. And since not everyone, goes on the air or want to go on the air, they just want to watch. Some people are shy. Some people really, don't want to handle that. And so that's why we make it easy for everyone.
And we tell you not to be shy. We're not going to bite. We just want to. If you don't want to speak, you don't have to speak. But just give us a little wave. We have technology where you have these emojis where you just want to wave, and we'll wave right back. That's all.
We'll wave right back, and that would be it. So anyway, remember that all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, The Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of the people of Facebook and on YouTube, Zoom, or any other social media outlet or broadcast facility. So with that, let's do what we normally do. Let's raise our cups, because what would the coffee hour be without a little coffee? So excuse me, Brian, I'm going to shoot up.
Okay.
That's delicious. You don't drink coffee much, do you?
Only decaf. I got to watch my high blood pressure, so don't want to make spikes. So when I don't drink too much coffee, but when I do, it has to be decaf.
Okay, I remember I used to drink a lot of coffee. I used to drink as much as 5 cups a day, but that was back then in my cigarette smoking days. A cigarette in one hand and a coffee in the other, and I used to down coffee like 5 cups a day, which I didn't really believe that was so important not to drink that much coffee. But I did because I enjoyed it. But now I get 1 a day. Plus, the limit is 2 because I may have 1 after dinner or something like that, but for the most part, it's just 1 cup of coffee. So anyway. So later on, you're going to give us, because this is Black History Month, we want to make sure that everybody knows that. And by the way, this is the final day of February for us. It's February 27th. So this is the last show for the month of February. February goes real fast. It's the quickest month.
Oh yeah, it's definitely. Why did they have it like that for February, the quickest month? I have no idea, but I guess at the beginning of time where they decided to do calendars, and February was supposed to be the shortest month. It's the most busiest month too, as well, weather-wise. I could tell you that. It's either going to rain, but it's something's going to happen. You got Valentine's Day, and you got the president's birthday. You got 2 famous presidents, George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. So February is the shortest month, but it's the most busiest month of all.
Yeah, and when you in the month of February, when in the beginning of the year, they have what they call a leap year. Now, this month of February, tomorrow is the last day of February. That's the 28th. Now, each year, what they call it leap year. Now, next February, you're going to get 29 days. It goes back and forth. Yeah. So that's why they call it leap year. And there are some people who were born on leap year. And let's say, for instance, a person that was born on the 29th won't have another birthday until another 2 years later.
That's right.
You see?
Yeah.
So it's hard to say how old they really are. I mean, they could say, you can go from leap year, to, let's say the 29th, you were born on the 29th of February, but next February, with the February after that, it only goes to 28 days. So that only makes you, what, 1 year old?
Basically.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm just glad I wasn't born on leap year. Yeah, it is Black History Month, and you're going to give us a Black History moment later on, of course, along with your sports that you do each week with us. So,
Yes.
and this is the last day of for us to talk about Black History Month. Uh, but in conjunction with that, we also have National Cancer Prevention Month. Now, Cancer Prevention Month is very important. You don't have to have a particular month to acknowledge. You can not acknowledge these days every day. You can acknowledge them every day, but this is the month that's set aside for this. And the key word to all of this, when they say National Cancer Prevention Month, the key word is prevention. And what you want to do is try to prevent even going anywhere near cancer. Now, if you are one of the ones who have contracted cancer, which a long time ago used to be a death sentence, but now it's tolerable. There are supplements and things to take to slow it down, and there are options that you could use, whether you want to take medical operation, or something like that. It's easier than it was before. It's no longer a death sentence, but cancer is not curable as of yet, and I hope, like in this lifetime, I could actually see that. We also have Chinese New Year, and this is the Chinese New Year, and this is the last time we'll be talking about all of these things. It's the Lunar Year, so we're celebrating Chinese New Year. And there's National Heart Month. Of course, you want to take care of that. That means you do like Brian. If you're going to drink coffee, drink caffeine, caffeinated coffee. I didn't. I can go either way with that. Whatever is available, I can go anywhere with that.
Mhm.
And it's Natural Retro Day. Would you believe that? National Retro Day. You know what that means, right? There, you go back in time. Um, think about some of the old things that happen, places, places, and things, places where you've been, or things that you've seen that goes way back in time, whether it's movies or TV shows or anything. That's what we're acknowledging today, National Retro Day. And then
I thought
for,
it would be natural when you said National Retro Day. I thought about money. I thought we get retro pay back from our former jobs, but I guess not.
yeah, that's retroactive. But this, in this case, retro, I mean, that means you go back in time and you visit some of the old places, things, and all kinds of things. We'll talk more about that later. And there's also National Strawberry Day. I don't have any strawberries on hand right now because it doesn't go good with coffee, but I will probably get some later on. National Strawberry Day. So there you have it. You have all of that.
I
And
have one more too. I have one more. Remember
what's
the
that?
guest that was on last night? I looked it up and he was right. Today is National Cigar Day, is celebrated annually on February 27th. The date was recognized the craftsman of cigars and honors of legacy of Oscar Hammerstein, who invented important cigar making machinery in the 1800s.
Wow. That wouldn't be the same Oscar Hammerstein, the musical Oscar Hammerstein, would it? No, I guess it wouldn't be. I,
It doesn't say on my research that I'm looking up here, but I
uh,
don't know. I don't know. I'm
yeah.
not what to say.
Well,
Yeah,
see, there you have it, guys. You have it's National Strawberry Day and it's National Cigar Day. So there you go. And I didn't have that on my notes, but I'm glad you brought that out, Brian. I'm glad you brought that out. So we want to cover all the bases. They may be a lot of things, people enjoy, but some people, they enjoy their cigars. They blow smoke in the air. I know some people who love cigars with a little bourbon on the side. Uh, I'm not a cigar smoker anymore, but you know, I don't know.
hmm So
So anyway, those of you who are just chiming in, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour. And I want to thank you guys for being along with us. I want to say hello to Rod Jacobs out of Manhattan in New York City. Good morning to you, Rod. That's Lightning Rod Jacobs. He's uh he's a former maybe he still boxes. You know, Rod hangs out with all the professional boxers. I know I've seen some pictures of him with George Foreman, the late George Foreman. So hello, Rod. Good to see you. And for those of you who are chiming in with us, if you have anything to say as well, we'll acknowledge you. And again, when you come in to give us your weather forecast, you don't have to have a full blown weather forecast. It could be just like an emoji or something simple, because we want to compare notes of the weather that we're having here where we are and the weather where you are. So we just want to compare notes. And those of you who live in New York or even a vicinity of New York City, you don't have to worry about that. I will take care of that. You said you had rain where you are, right, Brian? Did you say that?
yeah, it was raining this morning. It was not no hard rain, but it was raining, and we got rain up until around 12 noon today. That's when it's supposed to stop, and we're supposed to be going into the mid and high 70s next week. So that's a breakthrough for us, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
well, listen, I hope that you don't get any more snow. You didn't get any snow. We got the snow.
Yeah.
We got the snow, and we had plenty of it. Plenty of it. You saw it on the news, right?
Oh, I saw it on the news. I catch New York news down here, and it was like it seemed like I saw a graphic on social media where it says 1996 was X amount of inches, and 2006, 2016, and now 2026, where these every 10 years back since 1996, snowing in New York, it was at least minimum 2 feet of snow.
Mm-hmm. Well, you see, there you go. So that's why we want to compare those. We want to compare those notes on weather. And as I said, I'm going to take care of the local weather. So you guys who live in New York City or in the vicinity of New York City don't have to worry about it. I want to say hello to Lynn Duff out of where are you now, Lynn? Are you in back in London or where? You know, she's a traveling girl and she makes a lot of stops all over the world. She just sent out greetings here, and she's just hoping that we have great skies out here. We're going to talk about our great skies out here, our weather forecast. Again, we'll be talking about that. As a matter of fact, I really should get that now. Get that out of the way.
Well, it seemed
Uh,
like Rod got a emoji with sunglasses, so wherever he's at, it must be really sunny. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that we're looking good. We're looking good, and right now here where we are, uh, because we've had some cold weather, but the weather had warmed up a little bit over the past couple of weeks. Because I remember with the snow, and when we had that first snow, that very first snow, I mean, we had not only the snow, but it was real frigid. But the second time around, when we got this blizzard, it wasn't what you call. It was cold, but it wasn't what you call like really frigid. It was pretty decent,
right,
and and now the weather is warming up because right now we have 38 degrees as we speak right now. It's 38 degrees in our town. So we're hoping that the weather's going to be good. As a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, the weather is not going to be bad for the weekend. Those of you who are living in New York City, and that's why Rod has those sunglasses on because right now it's sunny skies today. It's sunny. It's going to be sunny, and we'll have a high of 44 degrees. Winds will be light and variable. And for tonight, it'll be mainly clear. We'll have a low 31 degrees. Winds will be light and variable as well. So the weather so far looks so far so good, right? For Saturday, it's going to be partly cloudy skies, high 51, winds light and variable. What a change in the weather. Saturday
yeah,
night, it's going to be partly cloudy skies. We'll have a low around 35, winds north at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And for Sunday, well, we said what a change in the weather. It's not going to be bad. Don't panic. It's going to be mainly cloudy with snow showers. Snow showers, not a blizzard. Snow showers, and it's going to be around in the morning. It's starting in the morning, all right? But then temperatures will be nearly steady in the mid to upper 30s, and winds will be north at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And the chance of snow is only 40%. So no blizzard. You don't have to dig yourself out. It's going to be good. And repeating our current temperature, I mentioned the 38 degrees, 39 degrees, but it looks good out there. So there you go. And again, thank you for dropping by for the coffee hour. And again, we're going to be here until the top of the hour. We're only here for 1 hour each week. And those of you who are at work right now, if you are on your coffee break in your area, take your coffee break, stay at your desk, watch the show at the same time, and sip your coffee. And then when your coffee break is over, no one has to tell you to go back to your desk. You can do that yourself because you're already there, and you can watch the show and drink your coffee at the same time. And since you're there right now, it's just in time for sports, Brian.
Yeah. So you people that's on your coffee break, stay and watch me to update you on the world of sports. Congratulations to the United States of America, who finished, and Norway and Italy. They finished in the top three in the 2026 Olympics. Here we have Norway with 41 medals, 18 gold, 12 silver, 11 bronze. The USA finished in second with 33, with 12 gold, 12 silver, and 9 bronze. And Italy, which was the home, they was home for the Olympics, where they were in Milan, Italy, had 30, 10 gold, 6 silver, and 14 bronze. So the 2026 Olympics is now over. For us here in the United States, congratulations to the men's USA hockey team for winning the gold in an upset over Canada. Canada is known for their hockey. That's the first time they won the gold since the Miracle on Ice back in 1980. So now we're through with the Olympics. We get back to our other sports that we have here. In the NBA, John Tay Porter. Now, I brought this here story to you a year or so ago, where he was banned for life by the NBA for gambling in 2024, and currently awaiting sentences after pleading guilty to a related federal charge, is planning to play for an upstart pro basketball league. It's a new league. The Seattle Superhawks, a member of the new recreated United States Basketball League, announced Porter signing early this week. The team is scheduled to begin its season March 7th. That's right around the corner. That's almost a week from now, or a little bit over a week. For the first time in history, we're going to switch to the WNBA. The WNBA generated enough revenue, finally, and deservingly, in 2025 to trigger revenue sharing with its players. Union leaders said the league notified players' leadership earlier this month that they hit a benchmark. The 13 teams, which is only 13 teams in the WNBA, will receive a total of $8 million from the league to be dispersed among players. Now, the announcement by the union comes continuously negotiations between the league and players for a new CBA. Revenue sharing and salary continue to be sticking points. Now, the WNBA submitted a new collective bargaining. This is something that they just put in. It's still got to be voted on, saying that it will guarantee housing for all players in 2026. After 2026, players of their applicable minimum salary and those with 0 years of service would be provided a 1-bedroom apartment in 2027 and in 2028. Developmental players would be provided studio apartments for the entirety of the deal. So that's sound like that's a good deal. And, let's give it to the women. They deserve it. The NFL draft is going to be coming up next month, in 2 months, April 23rd to the 25th. So, we're going to wait for that. In sports, this day in sports, let me turn my notes over here. On this day, February 27th, 1901, that That was a little bit before my time. A lot before my time, I should say. The NFL Rules Committee for baseball, for foul balls, are count as a strike, except after 2 strikes. So basically what it is, let me tell you something about baseball a little bit. When a batter comes up, the count is 0-0, no balls and no strike. Every time you hit a foul ball, that's strike 1, strike 2. If you hit another foul ball after strike 2, it remains as strike 2. It doesn't mean strike 3. So that's what happened back in 1901. In 1959, Bob Cousy set the NBA record with 28 assists. Celtics scored 173 points in that game. 1963, Mickey Mantle signs a contract worth $100,000 with the New York Yankees. That was back in 1963. That was a lot of money back then. 1973, the Major League Baseball Chicago White Sox, Dick Allen signs a 3-year contract for $750,000. 1987, the NCAA cancels SMU's 1987 football schedule due to the NCAA violations of corruption. They were. I remember that so well. They was in some dirty schemes. Let's put it like that. The whole entire university was being on watch, and they were punished for that, for the football team as well. Birthdays on this day, 1919. Johnny Pesky, Major League Baseball infielder, manager, and broadcaster, was born in Portland, Oregon. 1933. Raymond Berry, NFL Hall of Famer, wide receiver, coach, 6-time Pro Bowler, was born in Corpus Christi, Texas. 1961. James Worthy, NBA Finals MVP and 3 times NBA champion, was born in Gastonia, North Carolina, which is not too far from me. 1975. Deuce Staley, NFL running back, coach for the 2005 Super Bowl champions, was born in West Columbia, South Carolina. 1976. Happy birthday to Tony Gonzalez, NFL tight end, and he's also a broadcaster, Hall of Fame for the Kansas City Chiefs, 14-time Pro Bowler, was born in Torrance, California. And in 1983, Devon Harris, NBA point guard for the 2009 All-Star Game, also was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's the beer city, the capital of beer in Wisconsin. This day in Black History Moment, we're going to talk about an actress who paved the way for African Americans and people of color. This is our last segment of a 4-part series of Black history in the world and in Black history in sports. Hattie McDaniels was a pioneer African-American actress, singer, and comedian, best known as the first African-American to win an Academy Award, wrote Best Supporting Actress for Gone with the Wind in 1939. One of my top 3 favorite movies. The top 3, my favorite top 3 is Gone with the Wind, The 10 Commandments, and my number 1 movie of all time, West Side Story, Jets and Sharks. We'll come back to that later. And she was born in Kansas as a formerly enslaved parents. She overcame segregation and typecasting to appear in over 300 films. Could you imagine 300 films for a Black woman in that era? But she was only credited for 83 on-screen films, primarily as a maid or a mammy figure. You know, back in those days, it was whatever you could get. It was a stereotype for any Black woman to get as a maid, and for a Black man to get a role as a butler, or else if you want to say not only as a butler but as a slave servant as well. Back in those days, you get what you could get. A lot of the people in the Black communities opposed to that, but back in those days, it was different. We talking about in the Jim Crow laws. That's how it was. Just say that Hattie McDaniel was born in 1893 in Kansas to Susan Hobart as well. Here's some more things about Hattie McDaniel. Early life, born in Wichita, Kansas, to a Baptist minister, radio pioneer. I didn't know she did radio, but she did radio. She was a comedian too. Hard to believe. But though she has those big old pretty eyes of hers, and she had a wonderful smile. I used to love her wide smile, the way she smiled. She was activist later in years. She acted in the civil rights challenge. She appeared in more than, like I said, 300 films. She died of breast cancer at the age of 57, and she died in 1952. A lot of people don't know that, but she was very close friends with the late Clark Gable, who she co-starred in that great movie in Gone with the Wind. Got Black History Sports. I'm not going to spend too much time of it. I'm just going to read half of it because it's kind of long, but this is what happened back in 1946 when 4 African-American football players broke to the barrier. As you see, if you've been with me to like the last 4 weeks, I talked about baseball, basketball, hockey. Now is football. Kenny Washington and Woody Strode of the LA Rams led the nation in scoring. This is in college in 1939. But I'm going to say Kenny Washington, Woody Strode, Bill Willis, Marion Motley were the first African Americans to play in the NFL back in the late 40s, same time around when Jackie Robinson broke the barrier for baseball, which Jackie Robinson actually paved the way for all 4 major sports in North America to break the barrier for them to play. So we, salute them. Bob Martley, both Martley and Willis were elected into Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1968 and 1977, respectively. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports and our moment in Black history and in Black history in sports.
And we got to remember that those people that you just mentioned, we don't want to leave out Muhammad Ali either. We don't want to leave him out because he was a big pioneer, especially in boxing. All right. But when they call him the GOAT, the greatest, they use that word loosely now, the GOAT. I don't see, like everybody says, the greatest of all time. When I hear that phrase, the greatest of all time, that's the only person I think about is Muhammad Ali. I don't think of anyone as a GOAT. Muhammad Ali was the GOAT. There is no other GOAT as far as I'm concerned. You may be the greatest, but not the greatest of all time. All right. So I just wanted to bring that out there because a lot of people say, I'm the GOAT, or he's the GOAT, or she's the GOAT.
Let me say about the champ. He's my favorite athlete of all time. So I could really speak well about him. Muhammad Ali wasn't received well in his early years. Let's make this clear. A lot has to do with because of his religion as a member of the Nation of Islam. He's as a Muslim, but Muhammad Ali sacrificed a lot. He gave up his title. Mm-hmm. He could fight for equal opportunity and equal justice for all. Muhammad Ali did not fight in the Vietnam War. He refused to fight in the Vietnam War because he felt that we got problems here in America, okay? He was no draft dodger at all. Muhammad Ali also went across seas to free people from being held hostage. Don't have the information for me. I have it in my notes, but so he's done a lot. He carried the Olympic torch one year for the Olympics. I forgot what year is that. So Muhammad Ali is very dear to me and everything. Never got a chance to meet him, but just like what you said, he was the greatest. He was the greatest of all time. He went from being the most not so loved to the most beloved person in mankind. So yes, Muhammad Ali deserved his flowers, even though he's not here to see him.
Well, I had the pleasure. I could say, and I brag about it, to meet Muhammad Ali. I actually had an interview with Muhammad Ali. It was a short interview. I still have that tape of that interview. I was green back in those days, so I didn't say a lot on the interview. But Muhammad Ali makes it very easy for you to do an interview. All right. And not only did I meet Muhammad Ali, the boxer, but I had met the real Muhammad Ali, the man that people never seen, the quiet Muhammad Ali. He was somber. When I spoke to him, he was somber. He didn't he wasn't doing the greatest and all of that. I mean, he did that because he was appearing on the show. There was an outdoor concert, which that year I was doing. I did 3 interviews in that one day, and the 3 interviews I did was one with Aretha Franklin, Muhammad Ali, and King Curtis, all in one day because they were all in that one concert. But getting back to Muhammad Ali, he was I didn't, just like many other people, when he first came on the scene, when he was Cassius Clay, I didn't like him too much. Not because of his religion, not because of his belief. It was nothing like that. It had nothing to do with that. He had this. And I didn't quite understand Muhammad Ali back in those days. And none of us really did when he came out and said, I'm the greatest and no one could beat me and I can do this. And everybody just said, oh, get out of here, man.
Mhm.
Get lost, and we didn't, and I didn't like him. But I guess the reason why I didn't like him because I didn't understand him.
Right.
Then after a while, after he backed up everything he said and said everything intelligently, I said, you can't argue with that.
That's right.
You can't argue with that. So
But I really love the way what Lynn puts it best. She said, Muhammad Ali once said he thought I had great legs. He loved women. He did love women. That was his weakness were women. So sounds like him too.
so, so Len, you got to meet Muhammad Ali, and he got to compliment you on your legs. All right. Today, no one is going to compliment any woman on their legs because we wind up 6 feet in the jail.
Yeah.
We don't compliment women that way anymore. It's not done anymore. That's like what do they call it? Sexual harassment? I don't know. I love complimenting women. I love doing that. And I do it sincerely because I believe that women are the greatest creatures that God created for men.
Yeah.
That's my belief. But I will not go there, all right, because women don't want to hear that. Oh yeah, you have nice legs, you smell good. No, can't do that anymore.
Can't do that.
But Muhammad Ali was Muhammad Ali, and people loved him all over the world. And then you talked about the other, like Hattie McDaniels, who did these parts that Black Americans do not appreciate these days. But see, back in those days, she had to do it. She had to do it,
Right.
and she did it because she did that to pave the way for other young Black people who may be coming up in the arts that no longer have to do those things. And we talked about this last night on Talkback Live, right?
Yes, yes we did.
The ones before us, and I mentioned people like Hattie McDaniels, Butterfly McQueen, and Sammy Davis Jr., Nat King Cole, these legends, who were able to go out there and perform in front of white Americans at these lavish hotels, especially in Las Vegas at the Sands and things like that, but were never allowed to stay in those hotels. They could sing there, they could perform there, but they couldn't stay there. And when they entered those buildings, they had to go through the back way in the freight elevators.
And kudos to Frank Sinatra, who paid his band members equally, whether they were Black and white. And he was the one that told many people out there, he put himself on the front line as a Italian American, where if they can't stay here, I'm not performing. And they have a lot of power to say that in Hollywood and everything.
Yeah. I mean, he did that with Sammy Davis Jr. at the Sands. Because like I said, when they performed in Las Vegas at the Sands Hotel, after their performance, they couldn't stay in the rooms with the other artists. They had to go west of Las Vegas and stay in the Black communities. Either stay in someone's house that they didn't know or some other Black hotel over there. And here's a little known fact. All right, there was a famous black hotel in Las Vegas. I can't remember the name offhand. I have to research it. But after Sammy and Frank and Dean performed at the Sands Hotel, and Sammy had to go back to that hotel to stay, Frank Sinatra went with him. Not only went with him to see the performances, went to see the performances with him, went on the West Side in that black community and watched the performances after they did his show.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
so
incredible.
yeah, so the legendary Frank Sinatra, did those things, and the things that he did, he would never allow anybody, especially the media, to say anything about it. He did it and left.
Right. Right.
I just saw a story the other day on Facebook. This young girl had this piano, but that her father had. She inherited from her father, and she had to sell it because she had to make ends meet for her family. And she was in this vintage shop where they had pianos and all kinds of vintage instruments and other odds and ends. And Frank Sinatra drove by in his car, and he saw that hot shop. For some reason, he said, I got to go in there. I got to look in there. Something told him to go in there, and he saw that little girl, and he picked up the tab for her rent and whatever that she needed for her family, and let her keep the piano. And she said, "Keep the piano, but promise me one thing, that you continue to play it."
Mm.
You
Great,
know,
great story. Wow.
uh, I've heard I've heard stories about Elvis Presley when he bought this young lady a Cadillac, a young African American lady a Cadillac.
Mm-hmm.
She
Yeah.
was looking in the showroom in the windows, and he bought the car for her. There are a lot of great people in this world.
There
You
is a
know,
lot. Unfortunately, that we live in a time and age where we have a lot of hate in the world too. I
yeah,
mean, let's not be blind and let's turn the cheek and say that we live in a world of politics where if you're not for this president, or if you're not for this politician, it just divides us even more. And
yeah,
it's so sad how between two parties and now outside of the parties it's just hate and racism and go on and on. And that's why
yeah.
I don't talk politics outside of this. When I meet people, regardless of the color of their skin, and when
Mm,
they start talking about, well, this world is just so crazy, that's when I begin to back away easy, because politics is going to come in. And,
yeah,
you know, I'm not too crazy about the Democrats, definitely not too crazy about the Republicans, whether you're liberal or conservative. This world is divided. Why can't we just get along? So,
mm,
so.
yeah, yeah. And Lynette says that Muhammad Ali boosted her ego by
Well,
saying those
yeah,
words.
your ego should be boosted. Listen, I'm sure what you look like, and I'm pretty sure if Muhammad Ali said you have pretty legs, I say he's right,
Yeah, we believe it.
because if he says it, it's true. Because he loved women. That's right.
Oh, God.
He got his autograph. Taking a picture of him.
Yeah, well, they didn't have cell phones back in those days, I don't think. Okay, American salsa legend Willie Colon, the pioneering trombonist, vocalist, and composer, died last Saturday. He was born in the Bronx to Puerto Rican parents. Colon recorded dozens of albums. He signed with Fania Records at the age of 15 years old, and 2 years later, in 1967, released his first album, which has sold more than 300,000 copies. Colon's music combined elements of jazz, rock, and salsa, incorporating the rhythms of traditional music from Cuba, Puerto Rico, Brazil, and Africa. Colon was 75. Robert Carradine, the actor known for The Revenge of the Nerds and the Lizzie McGuire show and the movie, has died by apparent suicide. Robert Carradine was born in 1954, who began his professional acting career as a teenager, and he appeared on TV shows, series such as The Cowboys and The Hatfields and McCoys. And he was in movies including Coming Home, Main Street, and The Long Riders, which became a family affair because it also featured his brothers Keith and David, and Carradine was 71. It was the battle of the holdovers at the North American box office last weekend with the family-friendly film Goat. And Goat edged out the rating Worthington Heights. Sony Pictures animation Goat took in $17 million, while Warner Brothers Worthing Heights earned $14.2 million. Both films are their second week. They're out there for their second week. And overall, it was a quiet week at the box offices and the theaters around the country. And new offerings all opening under $10 million. George Strait and Miranda Lambert officially received one of the highest honors in Texas music last weekend. The Texas Heritage Songwriters Association formally inducted the two country performers into the Texas Songwriters Hall of Fame last Saturday at the Austin ACL Live at the Moody Theater alongside veteran hitmaker Don Cook and the late Keith Gaddis. While Strait is primarily known for his smooth baritone and extensive chart success, he holds several key songwriting credits. His name was attached to tracks like Here for a Good Time, Living for the Night, and Every Little Honky Tonk Bar. In the meantime, Lambert, who grew up in Lindell, Texas, built her career on her own shop storytelling, and she holds writing credits on some of the biggest singles from her albums, like The Weight of These Wings, The Weight of These Wings, including Tin Man, Bluebird, and Automatic. Tom Hanks will play a U.S. former president and distant relation in a upcoming biopic, Lincoln in the Bardo. That's based on George Sanders' best-selling 2017 novel with the same name, with Hanks playing Abraham Lincoln. That should be interesting. And it would be a hybrid movie combining live action filmmaking and stop motion animation. Hanks' distant cousin he was a distant cousin of the 16th president of the United States, the mother of Abraham Lincoln, whose name was Nancy Hanks. That's according to Ancestry.com. Birthdays today. Actor Grant Show is 64. The late Howard Hessman would have been 86. Actress Elizabeth Taylor would have been 94. Actress Joan Woodward, that's the wife of Paul Newman. She's still alive. She's 69 today. Jazz musician, the late Dexter Gordon would have been 103. Actress, the late Joan Bennett would have been 116. And jazz singer Mildred Bailey would have been 119 years old. So happy birthday to all of you, especially the ones who are alive today. May you live forever and a day. And for those of you who are no longer with us, we still continue to acknowledge you each year that your birthday come around, because you left us a wonderful legacy, and we will always remember you. And if you have a birthday coming up, please get in touch with us and let us know so we can acknowledge you right here live on the show. And you can do that by emailing us or calling us. We'll give you the email address first. The email address is frankallenprod@aol.com. Prod is P-R-O-D, that's short for productions. And the last name is spelled A-L-L-A-N. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. It's frankallenprod@aol.com. The telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Remember, you can call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year. And of course, you can keep all of that information in your electronic devices, such as your computer, be it laptop or desktop, your cell phone, and of course your tablet too. And if you have all of those electronic devices, keep them in all of them in case one doesn't give you one. You have something else to fall back on. So let me give you that email address again: frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. Brian, you still with us or you got to go?
Yeah, I got to go. Just want to say everybody have a good weekend. And Lynn, don't worry about your legs. Don't worry about your legs. Your legs are fine and everything. And just everybody enjoy your weekend and see you next week.
Okay, we'll look forward to seeing you then. And you'll be back here on Talk Back Live, of course.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
He's coming in and out. Okay, Brian, we'll talk to you then, okay? Take care. That's Brian Kemp, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad that he had the time to spend the time with us. And he comes on. Is he back? With the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And of course, we'll see him back here next Thursday when he comes on with us, when he'll be doing the Talk Back Live show, which is on every Thursday. We'll tell you more about that later. But in the meantime, thank you guys for being with us. The name of the show is called The Coffee Hour, and we're sipping coffee, having fun, and communicating with you guys. I'm so glad that you guys came out to visit us today, and we hope that you come back again and again. Now, one of the things I want to ask you guys to do is please take the time out, especially if you're on watching us on our YouTube channel right now. Take the time to subscribe to us. It costs you nothing, not a dime, not a dime. What I want you to do is just click on to where you see that icon where it says right there, subscribe. Click onto it. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. And you're in. And you don't have to worry about getting any kind of bill from us because we don't charge you for anything. It's free subscription. That's the charge, free. That's a very important word. And so do that for us. Subscribe to us. And those of you who are watching us on Facebook right now, don't go anywhere. Wait until after the show is over and then shift over to my YouTube channel. Just type in my name, Frank Allan, and my YouTube channel. Click up and you could find it there. And then once you go onto there, just subscribe to us. That's what we want you to do. Okay. Lauren Chapman, who played Kitten on the classic TV series Father Knows Best, has died. And Chapman is the youngest kid who played Kathy and the nickname Kitten. Kathy Anderson on Father Knows Best, that ran from 1954 to 1960, appearing with nearly 200 episodes. She played in 200 episodes. And for her memorable work, she earned 5 Junior Emmys. She was 80 years old. And of course, Lauren played alongside Robert Young, the legendary Robert Young, Jane Wyatt, and also her brothers and sisters, Eleanor Donahue and Billy Gray. Now, Eleanor Donahue played the princess. They call her the princess. She was nicknamed the princess, but her name is Betty Anderson on the show. And Bud was James Anderson. So they all had nicknames: Kitten, Bud, and Princess. And so that's the latest. And if you remember Lauren, she was that cute little girl. She was the youngest girl. She was a cute little girl with those slanty eyes. The cutest thing I ever seen in my life. All right. And she just passed away. She was 80 years old. Earlier at the top of the show, we said it was Retro Day, National Retro Day. I just want to bring back a couple of things for you guys. We know now retro could mean anything. It could be old music, old odds and ends. It could be places, ancient places that you have probably visited, a lot of places, right? Retro. I'm going to go back in time in retro. And Brian, if you're watching this, if you're still watching me, you're probably not because you got to get back to the kids. but you'll probably catch it on the rerun of this show. Do you remember this? Anyone remember this? Does anyone remember this? It's called Posted. It's a little beverage, I guess, and it's caffeine free. It's off the market. It's off the market, and it was delicious. Does anybody remember that? Raise your hand. Let me know. You know, this jar is an unopened jar. This jar has never been opened. Never been opened. But I'm going to open it today. I'm only going to open the cap, but the seal is still tight. It's still tight. And I had this for a long time. I just never opened it. I don't know why I never opened it, but I'm going to take it off. And here's the seal. See? Still there. Airtight. Airtight. Now, I wouldn't think I wouldn't think that that the contents is good anymore. I wouldn't think that, even though it might be airtight, but I still wouldn't do it. But I'm going to keep this. I'm going to keep this. This is classic. This is retro. This is retro. Okay? Posting. You remember that, right? Here's something I want to go back on. This was my very first cell phone. Remember these? This was by Motorola. And it was a flip phone. Right there, this is the first one. And back then with the cell phones, they had to have antennas. Hello? Someone's on the other end, but I'm not going to talk to them yet. Retro. Retro. Something else retro. One more thing is this. Remember cassettes? And Sony made this brand of cassettes. See, I'll take it out of the box so you can see it. Cassettes. There they go. Right there. Now, I got to tell you something. I have at home a lot of cassettes with contents that I actually needed, like old radio programs, some of my old radio programs of shows on cassette, and there was no way to get it off. I recently went online, went to Amazon, and got this cassette player that I can plug into my computer, and I could play it, and it would transfer to an audio playback or audio editor, and then I can make it into a file. So now I'm going to do all of my cassettes that way. Take all of my cassettes. They also have for the videos too, but that's retro. That's my contribution to Retro Day. I've got those movies, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, I have 4 movies for the weekend. They're classic movies directly from Turner Classic Movies. And these are my picks of the week. So I'm going to get started with them right now. I'm going to go back to 1957 for this one. This is called 12 Angry Men. Now, this is the original 12 Angry Men. There was a remake after this, but this is the original. And it starred Henry Fonda, Lee J. Cobb, and E.G. Marshall, and a host of others you'll see in there when you watch this. It comes on Turner Classic Movies. You can see it Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we're in the Friday mode here where we are, so that's tonight for us. That's Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern on Turner Classic Movies. Then you have Calamity Jane from 1953. It's a musical. Now, 12 Angry Men was black and white. This musical with Doris Day and Howard Keel, Calamity Jane's 1953, is a color one. And you can see that Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. If you cannot get up that early on Saturday, a lot of you want to sleep late, DVR it and then watch it later on. Okay, that's Calamity Jane's. And then here's another classic from 1953 called Shane with Allan Ladd on Turner Classic Movies, and you can check that out Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's a decent hour for all of you. That's Shane with Allan Ladd. And finally, 1961, Brian, you like this one, West Side Story. He talked about it earlier. West Side Story, one of his favorite ones. And Brian, you can catch this with Natalie Wood, Richard Baymer, and Russ Timberland. And that's Turner Classic Movies. And you can check that out Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So that's a decent hour too. All right. And go to Turner Classic Movies and please go there and check out all of the movies that I may not have mentioned. But of course, you can add to your bucket list of what to watch. And if you still have your cable, you can watch those free movies, those pay-per-view movies, those sporting events, and documentaries and everything. So you have a lot at your fingertips, and you're so resourceful now. You have all of these apps, right? All of these streaming apps that you could watch all of these movies on. All right. So let me give you those movies once again. 12 Angry Men, Henry Fonda, Lee J. Cobb, E.G. Marshall, Turner Classic Movie, Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Calamity Janes with Doris Day and Howard Keel, Turner Classic Movie, Saturday at 12:30 a.m. Eastern. Shane with Allan Ladd, Turner Classic Movies, Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And West Side Story with Natalie Wood, Richard Bamer, and Russ Timblin, Turner Classic Movies, Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Take a gander at all these movies. I think you're going to like it. That's going to wrap it up for me, ladies and gentlemen. My weekend is officially underway. Yours is right around the corner. And I'm going to come back on Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for Talkback Live. I hope to see you then. And then meet me back here next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern for the coffee hour. I hope you guys have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend, and make it a safe one, okay? We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
You've been watching The Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allen. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on The Coffee Hour.